Well, I put it to you this way. If you were running in an election, who is the first man that you would make it your business to have a little word with? Right, the parish priest. Well.
And in conclusion, dear readers, let us not be too hasty in condemning the farmers for their attitude to the 2% levy. After all, they are thrifty by nature. And in this, they are no different from the farmers who had the privilege of knowing our divine master personally. You'll remember his story of the labourer in the vineyard. Whether they started work in the morning, after dinner, or in the afternoon, it was all the same to the farmer. Every man a penny. Mind you, it's hard to imagine an Irish farmer coming to an agreement like that. Still in all, the message is clear. You'll never get rich working for a farmer, no matter what hour you start at. Just a moment, Mrs. Carruthers. I'm just putting the finishing touches to my article for the Sunday World. Come in, come in.
You have a visitor. God help us all. Larry O'Hooligan is downstairs looking to see you, whatever he wants.
Oh, the Minister for State. Is he sober?
Oh, sure, how could you tell? He must be on the scrounge for something, coming here in the middle of the week. When did you ever see him when he wasn't on the touch? I could tell you, I wouldn't trust that man to take the collection at the church door. His pocket to be full of sawdust. That man...
Now, come, now, Mrs. Carruthers. Remember the sublime words of St. Paul. The greatest of these is charity.
Aye. Well, St. Paul would be whistling a different tune if Larry O'Hooligan had been out east in his day. He'd lift that straw out of the crib.
No, Mrs. Carruthers, Larry isn't the worst of them. Look, tell him to come up in a minute. Finally, I would advise the minister to read the story of the labourer in the vineyard and ask himself this question. If our divine master washed his hands of the farmers, what chance have I? Come in, Larry.
God bless you, Reverend.
What brings you here of a Wednesday evening, Larry? Is it a spiritual matter or a matter of the national collection?
Well, I'll tell you, Reverend, no lie.
Well, that's a pleasant change. Sit down there now. But don't disturb that cushion now or Mrs. Carruthers will have me life. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, I'm in a bit of a fix.
What? At your age?
Yeah.
Is she a local girl?
Oh, my God, no, sir. I wouldn't come to your reverends about the like of that, no. No, it's about the European Parliament, you see. When I get elected...
No, I'm glad you brought your problem to me, my son. As you know, Europe today is worse nor Dublin.
Well, I believe it's worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. I was just wondering... Would I be endangering my immortal soul by going out there at all? Is there the slightest danger in the world that I might forget what I learned in my penny catechism amid the flat spots of Europe?
You came to the right man for advice.
Aye.
As a young man, I spent some time out foreign, and I know something of the temptations you'll be exposed to. Wine, women, song.
It must be as bad as this stone man.
Worse. There are young women out there so far gone in immorality that they think nothing of enticing you into their appartement. That's French for flats, for tea. And you know where that leads to.
No, your reverend. No.
Picture going, picnics, bridge parties, carry on that would bring St. Anthony himself out in a cold sweat.
Is it as bad as that? No.
It is. Larry, my son, when you go over to Brussels, you must forget that you're a politician.
From what I hear of the crowd that's out there at present, that's the first thing they all forget. I'm told they even shave twice a week and change their shirt every other day. Some of them is even learning to speak French. Now, what's at the back of that now? I wonder, are they afraid of decent people overhearing their conversation or what?
I've heard stories myself, Larry. Young Irish boys in their 30s and 40s at these diplomatic parties, drinking Wine.
Oh, God save us all. Wine.
And dancing with these half-naked hussies. Ambassadors' wives that should be at home minding their children and not out half the night putting immodest thoughts into the minds of innocent Irish gossoons that are too young to be let out on their own.
I got St. Patrick and St. Kevin and St. Bridget protector.
Sure, I'm delighted to hear you invoking those sainted names. But when you go out to Brussels, and I'll see to it personally, you must forget all about politics and try and follow in the footsteps of the saints and scholars of Ireland.
I will indeed, your reverence, never fear. To hell with bloody politics. Hail glorious St. Patrick, dear saint of our island. I'll be thinking every blessed minute of the saints and missionaries that left our island in days of yore to bring the faith to the savages in them distant lands. And with your prayers storming the gates of heaven for me, I'll be doing my utmost to bring those unfortunate young women you mentioned back to the faith of their fathers. Sure, it's not a politician I'll be at all, but an instrument of divine providence, like Sir Oliver Flanagan, no.
Good man, Larry. You're not such a bad sort at all, no matter what Mrs. Crothers says about you. Never you fear, my son. You'll have my prayers, all right.
God bless your reverence. Oh, and maybe you'd be good enough next Sunday morning at Mass to ask the congregation to pray that I might have the strength to follow in the footsteps of St. Columbanus and St. Becra when I get elected to the European Parliament. Just to make sure, like, you know.
Consider it done, Larry Abick. It won't be my fault if the entire town isn't praying
and voting
for your success.
Oh, well, the blessings of God on your reverence. No, and if things turn out right, I won't forget your kindness. No, you can depend on me to put in a good word for you with His Holiness the Pope. God bless your reverence.
God bless you, Larry. You're over generous. A saint.